There's one less Democrat in the New Mexico State Senate this morning. Senator Phil Griego turned in his resignation to the Secretary of State's office after allegedly violating Senate rules and the state constitution in a real estate deal. News 13's David Romero has more.
According to the stipulation, Griego started working with Galisteo Street Incorporated to buy some state-owned buildings just a few months before the beginning of last year's legislative session. New Mexico law states, quote, the sale of any state-owned property with a value of more than $100,000 requires legislative approval, end quote. The stipulation shows that Griego was able to have the process started through an unnamed member of the House of Representatives. With just a couple of days left in the 2014 session, the bill came up for a vote. Griego left the floor, but throughout it all, Griego says he did not tell anyone he had a financial interest in the deal.
Yeah, he admitted he violated Senate rules as well as the state constitution. He says he was unwilling.
Griego stood to gain quite a bit of cash from the deal. According to the real estate agreement, Griego would receive $50,000 plus as an agent on the deal. Governor Susana Martinez's office released a statement saying at least 3 of the counties Griego represented have called emergency meetings to find someone to fill his position. We reached out to Mr. Griego and his attorneys, but have not heard back from them.
You reached the cell phone of Senator Phil Griego. I'm unable to answer the phone right now.
Now, in his statement, he says he wasn't aware of this constitutional clause. He admitted he broke, but it was. He said it wasn't a conscious thing he broke. He didn't realize he was breaking the rules. But yeah, powerful people can be brought down.
David Romero, KRQE News 13.
Griego currently chairs the Corporations and Transportation Committee. That job will likely be turned over to Senator Clemente Sanchez from Grants, who is currently the vice chair. Griego's departure won't disrupt control of the Senate for Democrats. They still hold a 24-17 edge over Republicans. A man is dead and a woman is seriously injured after a stabbing. According to Farmington PD, around 11 Friday night, they found a 23-year-old woman stabbed multiple times near Main Street and Lake Street. She was taken to a hospital in critical condition. Soon after that, they found a 27-year-old man who was fatally stabbed at the Nevada trailer park. Police say they are questioning a suspect but have not arrested anyone. And this man is in jail this morning after police say he blinded a 15-year-old girl when he found out their relationship may be exposed. Albuquerque police say 38-year-old David Cordova forced the girl into his car at gunpoint after he allegedly bashed her head against the dashboard. He used pliers to take out one of her eyes. He was arrested Thursday. He's facing several charges, including child abuse and aggravated assault. Friends and supporters got together to donate blood for a road rage victim yesterday. It was held at the Sandia View Elementary in Corrales. Police say the person who hit Taylor Dunn has not been caught. The hit and run happened last month on Paseo in Louisiana. Her friends say she was with her boyfriend when he had an argument with another driver. But as the 21-year-old got out of the car to get away from the trouble, this red SUV hit her. Dunn has been in a coma at UNM Hospital while police search for the driver and has gone through a lot of blood. The Corrales Seventh-day Adventist Church hosted the blood drive. The family was blown away with the turnout.
And we appreciate every drop and every prayer and every hug and every smile.
The family tells us Taylor's condition is steadily improving. As the fire season approaches, women firefighters got a sample of what they can expect during wildfire season. Yesterday was the Women in Wildland Fire Boot Camp Field Day. It was held out in the Sandia Ranger District. For 3 years, the Forest Service in the southwestern region has picked a group of women to be on-call wildland firefighters for the season. The women who went through the boot camp are ready to fight fires if they're needed. Also yesterday, first responders from across New Mexico took to the ice to take on an all-star team. They battled it out, all to help raise money for the Special Olympics. The first responders team won 3-2, but of course in the end, it's the kids on the Special Olympics who win.
It's not about who wins. It's about, seeing these kids, enjoy themselves and raising money to help them out, with all their sports. Anything you can do to help, whether it's for the children or give them the Special Olympics, just anything we can do to help.
They're hoping to play a game for charity every year. A group of black business owners met with Ferguson's mayor to discuss the impact of unrest on their businesses. The trouble has included stealing that's left some businesses in ruins. The city has been in turmoil since the fatal shooting of a black teen by a white police officer in August. Earlier this week, 2 police officers were shot and wounded at the police station during a protest. The business owners met with the mayor at a local restaurant yesterday. Afterward, they say they stand behind the mayor.
I wanted to stand here with the business owners who have been affected. Appreciate their dedication and commitment to the city of Ferguson. I know it's been very difficult for all of them, and I appreciate that they stand here with the city, and I stand behind all of them.
The show of support for the mayor came as 5 residents of Ferguson filed an affidavit seeking to recall him. The San Francisco Police Department is investigating and reassigning 4 officers for allegedly sending racist texts. The officers have been assigned to new work details away from dealing with the public. The department says the officers showed extreme bias against people of color in their texts. The messages came out during a federal investigation of a now former officer. A police internal affairs investigation is underway. Hundreds of mourners turned out yesterday to bid farewell to 19-year-old fatally shot last week by a Wisconsin police officer. Police say they responded to a call last Friday night that Tony Robinson was running in and out of traffic and had assaulted someone. Madison police say Robinson assaulted an officer who responded. A preliminary autopsy showed an unarmed Robinson was shot in his head, torso, and right arm. Robinson has been described as a convicted felon. New Mexico woman says the federal government wrongfully declared her death. What came next was a huge headache. Barbara Kanowski says she went to buy lunch last year when her debit card was declined. Then she learned the bank thought she was dead. Her credit card company closed her account. The Social Security Administration told her someone likely entered the wrong Social Security number when trying to declare someone else dead. Kanowski had a tough time convincing the credit card company she was still alive.
I laughed at first because it's so ridiculous to be sitting in a chair across from someone and have them look at you and tell you, but according to this, you're dead.
It took months for Kanowski to get the problem fixed. To learn more about this government mix-up and how it's happened to others, tune in to 60 Minutes tonight on CBS. APD says a criminal is off the streets this morning. The man they say carjacked an elderly man at an Albuquerque Walmart has been caught.
Well, this guy was, at the time, public enemy #1 because we were looking for him all over town because of the nature of the crime.
Earlier this month, an 87-year-old man was heading back to his car at the Walmart near Eubank in I-40 when a man tackled him and took his keys. Surveillance cameras at the store caught clear images of the suspect. Tips from those images led police to Robert Donofrio. Friday night, police got a tip that he was at a hotel.
CIT individuals were brought in, officers were brought in. They were able to negotiate him out of that hotel room. He surrendered to those officers and was booked on the outstanding felony warrant that he had.
Donofrio's behind bars on a $100,000 bond. Online court records show he has another pending car theft case from last month. Police are investigating a suspicious death near a roller skating rink in the Northeast. Albuquerque police tell us a family went to Roller Skate City near I-40 in Wantabo, saw the body in a lot and called 911 yesterday. Police say it's a woman's body but have not said if investigators found any wounds. They are investigating it as a suspicious death because it was found in an open space. It wasn't a drive-through dry cleaners, but an SUV drove in anyway. Now valet cleaners on Tramway and Central has a big hole in the wall. Albuquerque police say a new teen driver was behind the wheel yesterday. They told us her mother told her to step on the brakes, but she accidentally hit the gas pedal, instead crashing into the store through a window. No one was injured. The full extent of the damage is unclear. State senators narrowly signed off on a proposal to decriminalize marijuana possession. The bill would make possession of up to 8 ounces of pot punishable only by a fine from between $50 to $300. Anything more than that could still earn someone jail time. It passed 21 to 20 by faces, but faces long odds in the House in a likely veto from Governor Martinez. The Senate also unanimously passed a bill that adjusts the film tax credit to encourage production companies to use New Mexico facilities, buy and hire locally. The bill also allows TV pilots to earn a more generous tax credit when they film here. Albuquerque Republican Bill Payne is the bill's sponsor. Vanuatu officials say it'll be a while before they know the full extent of the damage from Cyclone Pam. The cyclone ripped through the Pacific, leaving many residents without running water, food, or shelter.
Everything I own is sitting in that boat behind me on the beach, and I can only hope that I can salvage it. Having grown up in Florida, Hawaii, and Australia, I've seen my share of storms, but nothing to top what Cyclone Pam did to this area here in Vanuatu.
No official word how many people have died, but the death toll is expected to be high. The United Nations and Australia are expected to arrive with crisis aid today. The Washington Post is reporting Jeb Bush used his own personal email during his time as the governor of Florida. According to the newspaper, the emails included details of Florida National Guard troop deployments after the September 11th attacks and information on the protection of nuclear plants. Aides to Bush say none of the emails contained classified information. This follows reports that Hillary Clinton used a personal email account during her time as Secretary of State. The White House is sending a warning to Republican Senator Bob Corker. Keep your nose out of nuclear negotiations with Iran. The White House Chief of Staff told Corker in a letter his bill, which would let Congress vote on an Iran nuke deal, could derail negotiations. Corker wrote President Barack Obama last week saying there is significant and growing bipartisan support for Congress to have a say in any Iran agreement. The White House has threatened to veto such a measure. 10 Americans who have been exposed to Ebola in Sierra Leone are being flown back to the U.S. None of them have been diagnosed with Ebola. A spokesperson for the Centers for Disease Control and Prevention says they will be monitored to see whether they show any symptoms. The news comes one day after an American healthcare worker arrived at the National Institutes of Health Hospital in Maryland to be treated for Ebola. At least 8 California high school students have been arrested and face felony sexual assault charges. The boys are as young as 14. All of them are underage. The attacks allegedly date back to 2013, but police say most were in the past few weeks, some happening on campus. Investigators say they're looking into digital evidence of the crimes. Some students say the boys were circulating pictures. Police say some of the acts were forced, others were consensual with individuals who are too young to give consent.
It doesn't look like anybody was forced. It looked like they're all, trying to have fun. I don't know, it doesn't sound right, but, they all look like they were doing it willingly.
Police are still looking for 4 teenage suspects in this small beach community. One of the girls accused of brutally beating a 15-year-old in this attack in New York City saw a judge yesterday. 17-year-old Talani Marshall's lawyer says she was just in the wrong place at the wrong time and wasn't involved in the fight. So far, police have arrested 4 teenagers in connection with a violent brawl at Brooklyn's McDonald's. A 5th remains in custody and a 6th is still on the run. The alleged 16-year-old ringleader is being charged as an adult and faces gang assault charges in the case. She's held on a $500,000 bond.